welcome back, my dear air acolytes, to Breaking Wind, a last Airbender podcast. I am your host, Jason Roy Augustin, and the man to my side, the one, the only, the incomparable VHS Jace. Hello, sir.
G'day.
And good day to you as well. And it is a good day because we are looking at another episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender. We are in the home stretch of season 2. I can't believe I'm saying those words because this is, no, we're not in the home stretch yet. We're still in the third lap, I suppose, because this is chapter 14. I was thinking it was 16. Chapter 14, City of Walls and Secrets. We are finally entering Ba Sing Se, the city of walls and also secrets. So let's get right into it. We pick up with the gang. They are awestruck by the size of Ba Sing Se. And of course, you know, they have critical information that they have to get to the Earth King because they know that there's going to be an eclipse. And when the eclipse happens, all the firebenders are going to lose their power. And that is whenever they need to strike. And they need to get this information to the Earth King because the Earth King, Ba Sing Se, is basically the last stronghold on whatever planet this is. That is standing up against the Fire Nation. I don't even know.
It's a ticking clock, and I love ticking clocks.
Oh, ticking clocks are so much fun, but they got a problem because whenever they get to the train station, they meet one of the greatest and scariest characters of all time, Judy.
That meme, right?
Okay,
that meme
they
with
just
that girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna say it right now. They just shrivel up as soon as I see this picture. I mean, just terrifying. The second that you see Judy, you know something's up. You know something is not quite right. It's that uncanny valley. Because she's smiling a little bit too much. She's smiling like she's in a horror sequel called Smile 2.
Yes.
And she, of course, you know, hello, I'm Judy, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the city. Okay, great. Let's go see the Earth King. We're going to go see all the museums, and we're going to see all the great architecture. Okay, when do we see the Earth King? And then we're going to go to the zoo. I feel like she can't hear me. Yeah, she's very... it's scary. It's funny, but at the same time, it's scary.
Yeah, it's just all this build up to get here, and then it's just you just feel that it's this weird kind of society happening, and she sets the tone immediately that there is something very wrong going on.
Yes, that is one of the strengths of this episode is that they don't tip their hand either. They let it unfold naturally. I'll kind of get ahead of myself a little bit, but whenever she does take them on the tour around the city, and anytime they try to talk to somebody, she just looks at them, and with that big, scary smile, she just goes.
And they're all terrified.
And everybody that's terrified of her. Are they terrified of her, or are they terrified of something else, though? That's the big question. But yeah, let's hold on. Oh my God. Anyway, let's leave Judy, the great and powerful and terrifying, behind for just a minute. And we're going to catch back up with Iroh and Zuko because they went and got themselves some jobs. And Iroh's in heaven because he's working in a tea house. One of my favorite lines of all time is just, "Oh, this is terrible. It tastes like leaf juice." That's what tea literally is. Yeah.
I like the other line where he goes, "Oh, I'm not in the mood for tea." What are you, never not in the mood for tea?
How could you say such a thing? Iroh, again, just an absolutely wonderful character.
Hey, he is as good a tea maker as he's a general by the looks of it.
Absolutely.
He's the man, right?
Yes. He's apparently great at it. I want some Uncle Iroh tea. Yeah. Speaking of the tea in Ba Sing Se, Judy, of course, does not let them get anywhere near the palace, nowhere near the Earth King. And so the gang comes up with their own idea. There's a big reception for the king at the palace, and they decide they're going to sneak in. Of course, Toph is from an affluent family, and she's tries to teach them manners, but of course Sokka and Aang are hopeless. But Katara,
Yeah.
she could pass, so they Toph and
Yeah.
Katara, they're going to sneak on in.
Much to Aang's delight, will I say? Much to Aang's
Oh,
delight.
Aang's got it bad at this point. I think it's pretty obvious. And well, Aang and Sokka basically decide to sneak in to help. Toph and Katara, though, they it's not easy. It's not easy for them, but fortunately, they run into Long Fang.
Yeah.
It's Clancy Brown again.
Was that Clancy again?
It's Clancy again. Clancy and James Hong, they show up a lot in this show. But every time I hear one of them, I'm just happy. So, so Long Fang, to me, kind of creepy, walks up to these two obviously underage girls and is like, come with me. I will take you into the party. I'm like, oh, girl, no. Girl, no. But he does escort them inside. But the problem is, the problem is he does not leave them alone, because he's like, no, it would be horrible for me to leave you alone. That would not be honorable. I'm like, rape whistle.
Is that because he's a creep, or is that because he doesn't trust them?
Oh, he knows who they are. Yeah. This is Long Fang. He knows what's up. He knows what they're trying to do. At least that's what I think. But then we're introduced to the best character that we're going to meet this season, the bear.
The bear.
It's not a platypus bear, not a duck bear. It's just a bear, which is weird.
It's a great scene how they're confused they are about that. They go, what a weird place.
Yeah, this place is weird. I love it whenever a show is self-aware enough to make fun of its own tropes. And, Avatar combines two animals together like it's a weird Japanese anime. And, it's like, we got a girl, we got a dog, a girl dog, we got a platypus bear. So my theory is that this bear is from Earth and is like part of the space program. That's my theory, and you cannot disprove it. So Aang accidentally reveals himself as the Avatar and decides to distract everybody by putting on a show, because that's what Aang is. And
Bear likes it too.
There's a scene that I think is really actually kind of scary, because Judy is there, and Judy gets this look of absolute horror on her face. And it's not I'm going to kill you. It's like, oh my God, they're going to kill me. So yeah, she is terrified. Like, her facade breaks at this point, because she knows that basically she's failed in her mission and there's going to be consequences. I forgot about this. Here we go. Jet still sucks.
And blind belief. What is that blind belief?
Yeah. Going off of, admittedly, he does have evidence. He has circumstantial evidence that he's seen that Iroh and Zuko are firebenders, but he doesn't have any proof. And he becomes just basically obsessed with it, which we know that's Jet's MO. He hates the Fire Nation, and he wants to see the Fire Nation destroyed. And, if he sees a couple of firebenders, he's going to destroy them. But he goes completely ape poopy at one point, bursts in with swords and is like, have at thee, rogues. Doesn't say it like that. But he threatens Zuko and Iroh with swords, and Zuko, of course, being Zuko, takes him on, and they get into this pretty fun fight. And
against really, the other thing is, though, he's doing all this against his crew's wishes.
Yes. Yeah, it's basically like self-destructive behavior at this point. Sorry, I got the hiccups. But it's like I said before, Jet sucks. He
does. He comes off very selfish in this episode.
He is. Well, he's always been selfish. He's always been a bad person, in my opinion. And he certainly does not help his case here. But that's okay, because Jet is taken away because Iroh has become quite the popular tea maker, and everybody rallies to Zuko and Iroh's side when the cops show up and is like, yes, he attacked the greatest tea maker in all the city. Of course, Iroh's like, oh my goodness.
He's loving the compliments.
Yeah, he's loving it. And so the Dai Li, the Ba Sing Se's basically secret police force, take him away. Incidentally, I love the idea of the rocks on the hands to catch swords, and the fact that the handcuffs are basically just this string of rocks that just wrap around people. That is so cool.
Yeah, the little details.
Yes, those details that you don't really think about, but honestly, if you could manipulate rocks and dirt, that is definitely something you would do.
Yeah,
And I just love that. I love that scene where Jet swings a sword at the guard and he just catches it and his hand's just covered in rocks. So I couldn't.
It makes logical sense, but it's cool
yes.
at the same time.
It is, and as the series progresses, especially into Korra, you see these techniques evolve. And it's really neat because not only does the technology evolve, because whenever Korra comes around, they have automobiles and things like that, but the bending evolves as well, which I think is really cool.
That's something I never expected from this series at all, and has been a delight, is the fact that 9 times out of 10 concepts like that just stay stagnant. Here's their powers, here's their abilities, that's it. And the fact that they are constantly growing that side of it, I say it every week, but the writing's just phenomenal.
It is. I completely agree. And this is where we get, I think, a really cool turnaround, because the entire time that we see the Earth King, he is in shadows and he looks very mysterious. And Aang tries to get at him, but the Dai Li stand in the way. And then who should walk out of the Dai Li formation but Long Fang? And Long Fang says, "Oh, I would like to speak to you." And we get another cool scene of the Dai Li picking up Aang's friends, where they have the rock gloves and they just basically throw the rock gloves and the rock gloves grab them like that.
Yeah.
I just love that so much. This show is so awesome. It almost becomes like something you expect after a while, but I think every now and again you have to take a step back and just admire how inventive this series really is at its core.
It's like a really great ancient tapestry in a way. Like the culture that they're kind of referring, the show is like that because everything is so on the surface level. It's easy to follow and you appreciate it, but there's so much within that. It's
yeah, I completely agree.
I'm just like, we're just constantly just praise.
Yes, just praise. I'm sorry, we've had a couple of iffy episodes in the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see things back on track. So here we get Long Fang, and he is addressing the gang. Incidentally, green fire, great backdrop here, because this is the Earth Kingdom. This is not the Fire Nation that is the enemy right now. It's the Earth Kingdom, and to me, it's kind of a subverted expectation, because you would think that this place they've been trying to get to for the longest time would be safe, and it's not. It's actually the de facto bad guys of season 2.
It's the illusion of safety.
Yeah.
It's the indoctrination in this episode. It's the totalitarianism, if I can get that word out correctly, of the society. It's saying a lot politically, this episode.
It really is. So Long Fang basically tells them, well, the king is in charge of culture and things like that, but I'm in charge of everything like that. So this king in the shadows is actually king of nothing except for making appearances and kissing babies and dedicating museums. Long Fang and the Dai Li, they hold all the power. They are the ones who basically want to keep everyone in the city ignorant of what's going on outside the walls, because they don't want a populace who is basically rioting. They don't want their economy to crash. He drops a lot of stuff during this scene, and yet as he's doing that, it's not really an exposition dump. It's just a mission statement. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. You are endangering it.
Yeah, that's a great point. You're right. It isn't just exposition. It is. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Fantastic.
While this is going on, we get Jet. Jet is taken somewhere and is basically being brainwashed. It's a very creepy scene. The ink work and the shadows in the scene as this lamp goes around this round track is phenomenal. And
Again, I don't want to talk politics, but I'm watching that going, this is a commentary on waterboarding.
It really is.
And it's around the time that was happening. So, you know.
Yeah, and of course, the Dai Li agent is just repeating the words, there is no war in Ba Sing Se. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah,
there is no war in Ba Sing Se. So, yeah, Jet, he sucks, but I kind of feel bad for him at this point. Because I think next time we see him, he's going to be a doting little errand boy like our girl Judy. Speaking of Judy, oh, what happened to Judy? No, it's okay. This is Judy. It's all good. So yes, the gaslighting. They're gaslighting, and it is really showing you what is going on in Ba Sing Se. That there is this, I guess you could call it a shadow government that's running everything, and they are not to be crossed. They are not to be contradicted. They will disappear you, and they will make it look like that a stranger is you, and nobody will take a step. This bothered me.
Yeah,
I cannot put it into words.
It's very disturbing and unsettling. The idea of it.
I think that's the correct word right there. It's unsettling, and I did not expect the first time I watched this. I did not expect to be so unsettled by an animated series, but it was scary. This is
like
scary.
A 70s political thriller.
It is. Yes,
this is like what they have done with this, and it blows my mind. And bravo to them to be bringing such mature ideas and themes and making it entertaining.
Yes.
And accessible.
And of course, it all ties back into, again, what I think is it's not as bad as I remember it. One of the worst ongoing stories is the Where's Appa story. I love how they tie it back in at the end because, Long Fang just basically says, I understand you're missing your bison. It would be a shame if you never found it. I'm like, you got your bison.
Where is it? You leveraged it. Emotionally leveraged these situations.
Of course, you got to wonder, does he have the bison or is he just playing mind games with them?
He probably doesn't even know at this point. I don't know. I think he's just this whole city's about control, right?
Yes.
So he's just found a way of controlling the avatar.
Yes. And of course, Clancy Brown sells every syllable of the dialogue. I'm not normally a fan of actors, like famous actors, being put into voice roles because I think that there are plenty of talented voice actors out there who could be doing it. Yeah. And I often see celebrities as stunt casting, but there are exceptions. Clancy Brown, James Hong, they are exceptions. Clancy Brown is one of the best voice actors out there.
Well, I would say his resume in voice acting now would easily surpass his actual acting.
Oh, yes.
He's in a lot of animated stuff, and he's brilliant.
He is. He's brilliant in everything he does. But yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of, I keep forgetting the name of this episode, City of Walls and Secrets. I keep wanting to call it City of Secrets and Doors.
You're right, though. I think you said in the beginning, this is considered one of the better episodes of the season. I would absolutely agree. In fact, I think this is time for one of my favorite episodes this season, and which has been, besides those couple of pretty severe road bumps, pretty damn good.
Well, next episode is considered by many to be the best of the season. I don't think it is, but I think it's something special. And everyone who I will say it's an anthology episode. Because it's called Tales of Ba Sing Se.
You got me interested.
Yeah, it's called Tales of Ba Sing Se, and it's an anthology episode where we get a tale from Aang, we get a tale from Zuko, we get a tale from Iroh.
Oh, these little vignettes.
Yes, and one of them is, I think, one of the best things that Avatar has ever done. It will actually make you cry.
Oh, okay.
It will make you cry. Especially, it makes you cry, and then it just kind of right in the gut. Like the last second, it just absolutely just like destroys you.
Oh, fantastic! Well,
yeah,
it's kind of strange for me to say I'm looking forward to it, but I am. I'm looking forward to be emotionally upset.
It is. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. If the rest of the anthologies had been as strong as that one, I don't even want to say which one it is. If they'd all been that strong, the episode would be, to me, a 10 out of 10. Right now, I think it's like an 8 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10. But it's still a good episode. It's a special episode. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Excellent. I can't wait. Wouldn't it be a shocker, though, if I turned around and went, that sucked. This whole thing sucks. I'm out.
if you think Tales of Ba Sing Se, okay, here's the thing. I could see somebody saying, all right, this entire episode was garbage, except that one.
Yeah, okay.
As long as you are kind to
the one, bloody beauty.
Yeah, the one is, that's where I just question whether or not you have a soul.
It's a question my wife asks often. No.
You have a bloody soul or not? Oh my god.
Nah, I don't, love. Sorry.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Breaking Wind. We'll be back next time with Tales of Ba Sing Se. Like, subscribe, become a Patreon, do all that good stuff. You know what to do. I'm not going to treat you like an idiot at this point. So, yeah, I'm Jason Roygaston, and this is VHS Jason, and we will see you next time on Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast.
So I'm guessing we got no Upper again next week.
No, well, maybe. I don't know. It could happen. It could not. I guess you'll just have to watch the bloody episode.